My man, I am so excited to do this with you.
Thanks so much for having me, and I can see that you've already served lunch.
I mean, we're going to get to this, but I don't want you or me coughing through this. I'm a newbie. So I was thinking about this. You do this for a living, just like I do. You interview people. And I know you've given interviews, but it's not that common for you. Is it?
No, this is a little out of my comfort zone. Like, I do always like to be the one who keeps the ball in the air, but for you, Vlad, I'll take the jump.
All right, I'm so excited. Let's start at the beginning. Your mom worked in the Justice Department?
Yeah.
Your dad was like a lawyer?
Yeah, he's a human rights judge.
Human rights judge. Did you have any pressure as a young man to follow in their path and their footsteps? Did you want to?
You know, there was never really that kind of pressure on me. I think I was always a talk show obsessed kid, and that really did start with my dad. He was a Letterman obsessive, so my first introduction to the lights, camera, and action of show business was watching Letterman with my dad. I was like, here's a guy who's doing a show in New York, but he has this profound effect on my dad's life in Chicago, and my dad's just one of millions. So I saw the way that, you know, you can talk into this box, and you can make people think, you can make people laugh, you can make people reflect or be sentimental or like change people's minds, and it's really kind of a superpower that I understood, but something that we mortals are capable of.
And so when you, as you grew older and you started to think about the kind of life that you wanted, the kind of career you wanted, you didn't initially say to yourself,
Be a chicken wing talk show host.
Exactly. What was your original plan?
You know, honestly, I never dreamed as big as I live now, to be honest with you.
Good evening, I'm Sean Evans.
I went to the University of Illinois to be a broadcast journalism major, and the way that I dreamed, I was like, wow, wouldn't that be so cool? I get my degree, and then I get an internship at, you know, a drive time morning radio show where sports fans are calling in, and maybe I could produce one of those morning shows. You know, like that's where my head was at, where like that was the mama I made it kind of hill that I was trying to climb. And obviously things zigged and zagged along the way to, you know, end up where I am right now, eating scorching hot chicken wings with famous celebrities. But that's what's fun about life, you know? Like when I graduated, the job that I have now didn't even exist.
Yeah, so how did you ultimately create this role that you've carved out for yourself, which is incredibly unique, but also stands at sort of the tip of the zeitgeist of American culture?
Yeah, so it really was kind of a Cupid's arrow right into my brain, and then to keep the arrow thing going, just kind of a bullseye right out of the gate. Like I was like, that's a great idea. You know, celebrities come in, they're in this PR-driven flight pattern. Progressively spicier wings might be a good way to disrupt that. We shot a pilot, and that was over 11 years ago, and we haven't stopped shooting them since.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? For First We Feast,
30 seasons in.
Yeah.
I mean, anybody who's anybody has sat down with you to have a conversation, but also to eat these wings. I mean, at this point, are you still pinching yourself or not?
You know, I think what ends up happening is it started off as kind of a survival instinct. So I felt like I was always just scrambling, you know, that I was just trying to climb up this muddy slope. And then you kind of reach the top of one hill, but it kind of just gives you a view of the next hill that you have to climb. And I honestly, all these years in, haven't really been able to step out of that. Like the survival instinct and the worst case scenario and all of these kinds of survival feelings that I had way back then, I still feel them now. And so I've never felt like I've gotten out of the pure walls are closing in survival mode. And I don't think I ever will until I step outside of this. And then maybe I can put all of that in context and make sense of it all. But right now, I'm just trying to survive like I was back then.
Let me ask you about some of my favorite moments.
Sure.
And I just want to get your reaction to them and what you remember about them and sort of in hindsight. Conan O'Brien.
You didn't come up with one wing that had any effect on Conan, because he's here to stay. Oh, woo!
He's also called you one of the best prepared interviewers in the business.
Yeah, well, Conan, you know, I talked about how late night obsessed I was, and I feel like Letterman was my entry point to it, but Conan was my guy, you know? I think that that's a shared experience for a lot of 90s kids where their dads were Letterman guys, and then the baton got passed to Conan, and I certainly lived that experience. So there's always this added anxiety and pressure when you're interviewing an icon of yours from childhood, and that's happened to me a couple times over the course of doing Hot Ones. So there's that. But I do remember the day before he made a phone call and he was like, hey, I've got this idea. I want to bring in one of my writers and have him be like my physician, you know, and he'll come in and he'll check my vitals in between wings. And he was very like, but if that's not something you guys are into, like I'll back off of it. I just thought that would be like a weird gonzo idea to bring to the show. And we were just like, hey, this is a blank canvas for you, Conan. Like, however you want to paint is however you can paint. And I think that that's maybe like the best pure episode of the show ever, where wing by wing, you have this guy like his descent into madness, you know, just like.
That's a perfect way to describe it.
I'm glad I'm here, and I'm glad we had a great time.
Athletes are a particularly interesting group of people
Yes.
to interview. I've always found it difficult to, I
Same
think,
with
right?
me. I think it's the hardest nut to crack.
Dude, I do too.
I have a theory.
What is the theory?
I think it's because they're not incentivized to market their personality. If anything, it can only be a consequence. You know, like there's all these different things that they're protecting. Like
they're not selling
the
a movie
locker
or-
room or whatever.
Yes.
And like the way that they make money is by hitting the home run or sinking the shot or throwing the touchdown. It's not, oh, like I'm gonna moth to a flame because people like my personality and they connect with my story, so they'll go see my movie. You know, it's like a totally different thing that's lined up. So all they have are consequences in showing personality, not the benefits of most entertainers. That's my theory.
So that's an excellent theory. I see you clearly giving it thought, even though I'm always like, oh man, athletes are so hard. So, like for example, Shaq.
Yes.
Tell me, like, okay, so Shaq agrees to do it.
Yep.
What are you thinking?
So I remember we shot that one in Atlanta, so another field trip where we went down there. And the thing that I remember most vividly, obviously there's that Shaq face where he looks into the camera. That's so iconic. But the thing that I remember so much from that shoot is he had a gallon of milk next to him rather than the glass. And I remember when he picked up the gallon and he was holding it, to scale, it just looked like me holding this. Yeah. That was like just something that I couldn't shake from my memory. Like when I saw it across the table, I've never seen a gallon of milk look so small. Yeah.
Going in with the ice.
So is there an actor that you really like, that you really would like to see on the show?
Tom Cruise. I cannot imagine he's ever heard of the show or seen the show, but if he had, maybe he would connect with it and we would supercharge the wings. You know, again, another blank canvas for him to paint on.
Have you ever considered politicians? Like I'm thinking Mamdani.
Yeah.
Or Trump, or somebody who people find incredibly fascinating, that have sort of a following that sometimes one might equate, like President Obama would equate to the following that celebrities have.
I think for me, it's always been kind of an ethical debate. Like you said, the journalism background, but at this point, it's an entertainment show, you know? And I think that the rules have changed in a lot of interesting ways there. But for me personally, I think it's a show that celebrates more than it scrutinizes. And so it's, to me, just like, is the venue appropriate? And like for me, I'm just not sure that it's the right kind of venue for that discussion.
I know you probably don't see yourself as a celebrity because you're a humble guy, but you are one. Have you considered that?
I don't take it that seriously, or it's not like a drug that I need or an itch that I need scratched. Like I really love just doing the thing that I do. I love walking a mile in someone else's shoes. I like studying the person, doing a little armchair psychology, and then just start the process over and over and over again.
This was awesome, man. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks so much for the chat.
Let's eat some wings, right?
Well, you did the smart thing first. I saw you popping antacid before we started.
I did. And I also have Gaviscon in addition to the milk ready to go.
Yeah, you're fully prepared. Okay. We're starting at the most mild of sauces.
Okay. This is already pretty spicy. Okay. I'm hanging in there so far.
Spicy food is like cardio. You know, if you do it every day, it gets a little bit easier. I'll do a Hot Ones episode and then go to the gym right afterwards.
Oh,
yeah.
what?
Yeah. It's where the rubber hits the road. But you know, after watching those episodes, now this is the Hot Ones experience right here. You're gonna be forever changed.
Okay, you can ask me something, but I don't think I can talk. What's next?
So, this is the last dab.
Okay.
We call
No,
it
this is the last dab?
This is the last dab. But let's look on the bright side, okay?
There is a bright side?
This is it. This is it.
Why are you pouring it onto the plate?
So it's tradition to put a little on the last one.
Covered wars. I'm getting lightheaded. Wait a second, hold on.
Exactly. This is what happens.
Should people over a certain age not eat these wings? Because maybe I qualify for that. Do I qualify for that?
I think we've already gone way past that intersection. Be careful around the eyes. It's going to build. The worst is not over.
The worst is not over?
But
What?
there are no more bites. Remember how the last one built?
Yes.
This one's gonna build. But you've made it to the top of Mount Scoville. You are at the peak.
Can I take a sip?
Yes, enjoy the view, baby. Enjoy the view, Vlad.
My heart hurts. It's like I feel it in my heart. I feel it in this portion of my body. Like something's going down. I don't know what. We'll find out. Thank you, my friend. This
Thank
was
you
awesome.
so much. I
That was so
appreciate
great.
it. You could say I conquered the hot ones.
Yeah.
finally.
Oh my God.
And no one can take that away from you. The suffering will not be in vain, I promise.
Oh my gosh.